Hi everyone, good afternoon. Welcome to USCMA Part 2. And which section are we doing now? Section E, that is Capital Investment Analysis, right? And in the previous class, let's do a quick recap of what we discussed in the previous class, right? So yes, in the yesterday we started understanding what is an investment decision, right? We can also call it as CapEx or capital budgeting. So different names. So when I use the word capex, what does it mean? It's a capital expenditure, right? So capital expenditure means it is for more than a year. It involves a huge cash outflow. It is a long-term investment. And generally, why does a company make a capital expenditure? Because that represents the core asset of the organization. Because I'm making a long-term investment, let's say examples of your capital expenditures were purchase of land, building, equipment, or investing in research and development. Why are we doing this? We are doing this so that with the help of that machinery which we have purchased, we can generate sales, we can generate revenue, correct? Or we can invest in a particular project. So that was the main idea behind understanding what is capital budgeting. Apart from that, if you remember, we also saw the different stages of capital budgeting. Do you all remember that? Everybody, do you all
Yes,
remember
ma'am.
we do not directly what invest, right? There is an identification stage, then we search, then we gather information, then we select, and then finally what do? We also do implement it, right? We implement the project and then we do audit of it, meaning we check whether everything is going according to our plan or not. So these were the different stages. Agreed? Are you all with me?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
yes, we saw the different stages in capital investment analysis, which started with identification, then searching, then information acquisition, selecting, and once you select, you have to fund for it, right? Financing. And then finally, it is implementation and post audit. You can call it like that or control. Apart from that, we also saw these different types of terms that are used in capital investment analysis. I hope you guys remember. Yeah, that is relevant or irrelevant cash flows. We
Yes,
saw,
ma'am.
yes, Anusha. So we know what are relevant cash flows, what are irrelevant cash flows. Now, today we are going to go deeper into it, right? So we also know that in cash flows and profits, which is better, guys? Cash flows are better or profits are better?
Cash flow, ma'am.
Cash flows are better. And we all know what is the difference between cash flows and profits. See, when I'm using the word cash flows, it simply means the cash that is actually paid or the inflow or outflow. Correct? Accounting profit means what? All of you can see my screen, right? So when I use the word accounting profit, this is something that you can see in your income statement. Correct? In your income statement, we come across accounting profit, right? And like for example, if the company, okay, if the company is buying a machine, let's say a company is buying a machine for uh 10,000 rupees and the life is 5 years. 10,000 rupees and life is 5 years. So what is the depreciation, guys? How much is the depreciation? Tell me. How will you calculate the depreciation? How will you calculate the depreciation? 10,000 divided by 5? Yes or no? Guys, are you all with me? Yes, very good, Durai. So it is 10,000 divided by 5. That is 2,000. This is the amount of depreciation. Okay. Now, for example, let's say sales is 8,000. Okay. Sales is 8,000 and my expenses is 3,000. Now, can I say my depreciation also I have to deduct? Because depreciation is also an expense. Correct? So, if I deduct my depreciation also of 2,000, then what do I get? Very good. Yes, Durai. So, 8,000 minus 3,000 minus 2,000. How much is it? It's your 3,000. Correct? 3,000. What is this 3,000? This 3,000 is called as profit. Agreed? This 3,000 is nothing but your profit. So, accounting profit means what? It is a thing that comes in your income statement and we also take depreciation into consideration. All right. So, similarly, if at all I'm talking about cash flow, if I'm talking about cash flow, here what matters is the cash that is actually paid for the machine. That is in year zero. Year zero means now I told you, right? I'm paying 10,000 rupees for the machine. So, what is this 10,000 rupees? This is my cash outflow. Depreciation does not require cash later. So, do we take depreciation into consideration when I'm talking about cash flow? No. Why? Because depreciation is a non-cash item. So, we do not include depreciation in our cash flow. So, can I say your accounting profit reduces every year, but actually there is no depreciation. We just show it in the books of accounts as an expense. That is why your profit comes down. Yes or no? So, profit is an accounting number, but cash flow is real money. This is just an accounting number. Whereas cash flow is real money. And that is why we do not take depreciation into consideration because there is no actual cash outflow that is happening in depreciation. Okay, depreciation reduces profit, but no cash is paid. Right? So, cash flow, there is no change. Clear? Now, one more thing to be kept in mind is the revenue timing, the sales. Sales may be recorded before or after the cash is received. Agreed? Now, if I'm making a credit sale also, I am recording it. Have I actually received cash for it, guys? You all know what is the meaning of credit sale, right? So, when I'm making a credit sale, have I actually received cash for it? No. But still, I put it in the books as sales. But when it comes to cash flows, I will record cash flows. I will record my revenue only when I get that cash inflow. Correct? So, for example, if the company is selling goods worth rupees 5,000 on credit in my income statement, okay? Am I going too fast? Is the speed fine, everybody? Is the speed fine? Yes, okay. So, if I'm selling goods on credit, okay, rupees 5,000. Now, in my income statement, I will record sales, correct? Now, when I say credit, what does it mean? Have I actually received cash? Have I actually received cash? No, right? Income statement, I am recording. But have I received cash now? No. I haven't received cash for it still. So, cash I have not received, but because I'm showing sales in my income statement, can I say my profit will go up? Because my sales is high? I'm showing sales, no, in the books of account, but I have not actually received cash. Correct. So that is why we say cash flow is better, because it gives us clear picture. That is why profits can be manipulated. Understood why cash flows are better than profits? Correct. On the other hand, now if you think about an expense, expense also may be recognized before or after payment. Now, for example, electricity bill. You have to pay 1000 rupees as electricity bill. You have received it, but you're going to pay it next month. But in your income statement, you will write expense 1000 rupees. But have you actually paid cash? No. So this will, now for example, let me use a different color. Electricity bill of rupees 1000, you are going to show it in the income statement as an expense, correct? Now, when you show it as an expense, can I say your profit will come down? You have not actually paid. Is the cash gone out? No. Why? Because you are paying it in the next month. But in this, you have, because you have received the electricity bill, you are putting it in the income statement. Okay. Adike, we say that actual cash inflow and outflow has not happened. But your income statement is showing all of these things, and that is why it is affecting your profit. Understood now why cash flow is better than profits? Why in capital investment analysis, that is in section E, we are giving more focus on cash flows and not profits? Is it clear? Is this clear? Okay. So now we have understood why cash flows are better than profits, because when we are making an investment, can you repeat the cash flow part? Okay, sure. So the point that I'm trying to make over here is that whenever we make a credit sale, okay, this was first adjustment. Whenever we make a credit sale, we are putting it in the income statement, even though we have not received cash for it. Same way, whenever we receive an electricity bill, maybe we have not paid for it still, but still we are recording it in the income statement. So when we do these things, it is affecting our profit. Correct? It is affecting our profit. And that is why we don't consider profits in our capital investment analysis. That is why we prefer cash flows over profits. Got it? Which one? This slide? This slide? Now is it clear, Durai, that why cash flows are better? Because profits can be manipulated. Profits are not giving proper thing. Okay. So now, moving on. Yeah. So while we are talking about capital budgeting, I can use the word capital budgeting. I can also use the word capital investment analysis or capital expenditure. All these are interchanging, just like how you have pet names, no? Like I can call you Durai or Vishwak, like that. Even these have different names. Okay. So when deciding the capital investments, the companies will focus on cash flows because projects require real cash investment. Now, if I'm putting my money into a new project, I will want to know what is the real requirement of cash, right? So that is one thing. And I also want to know the returns come as actual cash inflows, because profits can be affected by these accounting rules. So project investment is nothing but your cash outflow. So that is why investment decisions will depend on cash and not your accounting profit. Sometimes purposely in the question they will give you profit. You should be smart enough to take cash flows and not profits. And you know how to convert profits to cash flows? Yesterday we studied, no? By adding back the depreciation. Look over here. if they give you profit in the question, you have to add back depreciation so that you can arrive at your cash flow. Because how do we arrive at profit? Profit, we got it by subtracting the depreciation, right? So if I want cash flow, I have to add back depreciation. Clear? Okay. And now we know even in cash flows, we have to take only those cash flows which are relevant. Okay, which part, Nisarga? The cash flow and the profit part? Sure. So everybody pay attention. I'm repeating. Every time there is a confusion whether we should take profit or cash flow. Everyone pay attention. Okay. Profit is an accounting figure. Okay. Profit is an accounting figure which comes in your income statement. And in section E, that is capital investment analysis, we have to focus on cash flows and not profits. Why not profits? Because profits can be manipulated. How it can be manipulated? You saw that, right? Whenever I make a sale, even though I have not got that amount, we still put it in the income statement and it will look like our profit is more. Same way when I get an electricity bill, I have not paid for it yet, but still I will put it in the income statement and that will make the profit look down. So it is not giving us a clear picture or real picture. That is why we focus on cash flows. The reason why profits are not given importance is because it also takes non-cash expenses into consideration, like your depreciation, where there is no actual cash outflow, but still we are taking into consideration. That is why we prefer cash flow over profits. Clear? Clear, Nisarga, why cash flows we have to choose and not profits? Okay, perfect. All right. So now moving on. And again, I told you guys, no, in cash flows also, which cash flows we have to consider? We have to consider only those cash flows which are relevant. And yesterday in the class, we saw, right, which of the cash flows are relevant? All, we did a discussion, no? Which cash flows are relevant and which are irrelevant? Okay. So now let's quickly read this so that the concept is clear. Let's see what they are saying. Just now we discussed this topic. Now I'm just going to read it. Look over here. Accounting profit is a profit determined on the income statement using certain accounting principles. But cash flow is your cash inflow and your cash disbursement. The word disbursement means what? Outflows. Okay. Now the difference arise. Why is there a difference between accounting profit and cash flow? Because your accounting profit is reported in the income statement, which does not represent the cash received or disbursed during the reporting period. Like I said. Now see, when an investment is made in a project, cash is disbursed as the beginning of the project, but it is not expensed at that time. So instead, the cost is reported on the income statement as depreciation expense, but in cash flow, we do not take that into consideration. Similarly, they are talking about the same thing. Revenue, even if it's a credit sale, we record it in the income statement and that is why our profit will come down. But cash inflow, we will record it only if we have actually received the cash. Same way with expenses. Expenses, we will record it in the income statement. But when we are talking about a particular project, we will record that expense only if there is actual cash outflow. That is the basic difference between your profit and cash flows. And we have already seen that we should always take those cash flows which are relevant. Correct? And for a cash flow to be considered as relevant, there were conditions, no guys? What were the conditions? It has to be futuristic in nature. Remember, we discussed about it in the previous class. I hope you guys remember that. For a relevant cash flow, what are the features? It has to be futuristic, incremental. I hope you guys remember this. Avoidable, cash based. We have discussed all this. Yes or no? And anything which is not will be an irrelevant cash flow. Okay. So now, let us do one thing. I will, yes, very good, Durai. Also, which helps in decision making. All these are relevant cash flows. So I'm going to show you guys one question, and you all have to recognize which is relevant and which is irrelevant. Okay? Just give me a minute. Let me share my screen. You all can unmute and tell me which is relevant and which is irrelevant. All of you can see this question? So they have given us various cost. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they're asking whether these cash flows are relevant or irrelevant. So you have to recognize. You just have to tell me whether it is relevant or irrelevant. So tell me, market research cost of $50,000 that have been carried out, relevant or irrelevant? Tell me whether this is relevant or irrelevant. Respond. This market research cost of 50,000 that have been carried out, is it a relevant cash flow or irrelevant? Durai, is it relevant? Others? It is? Guys, it is irrelevant. Why it is irrelevant? Remember I spoke about it. Anything which is... Very good, Navneeta. It is irrelevant. Why? Anything which is historic in nature, which is incurred in the past, they've told no, it is carried out. You have already spent it. Now, to start a new project, I might have made some market research, okay, as to if it is good, bad, this one. Now, if I start this project or if I don't start this project, this money is gone. This is the hoito. Yes or no? ನಾನು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುದಿಲ್ಲ ಈ ದುಡ್ಡು ಹೋಯ್ತು yes or no so such costs are irrelevant for us got it why this is irrelevant because it is historic in nature it is called as a sunk cost can I go ahead understood why it is historic why it is sunk cost okay now moving on to the next one the purchase of an asset that would cost 95,000 now all these are various items relating to a particular project relevant or irrelevant very good Durai this is relevant why is this relevant because it is futuristic in nature correct because I'm starting this project I am going to buy an asset which will cost 95,000 so this is a relevant cash flow what about the sale of that asset at the end of the project $10,000 relevant or irrelevant again very good this is also relevant yes why because this is futuristic in nature and tomorrow when I'm selling this asset I'm going to get cash right when I'm selling the asset, I'm going to get 10,000. So it is cash based also. So it is cash based. So this is relevant. This is a relevant cash flow. Now, fourth one, depreciation of the asset over the life of the project, $85,000. Relevant or irrelevant? Very good, guys. This is irrelevant. Why? Because it is a non-cash item and non-cash expenses are irrelevant. Sales that I'm going to make from this project, 65,000. Relevant or irrelevant? Very good, Nisarga. It is relevant. Why? Because I'm starting this project, I am going to incur certain sales. So it represents a cash inflow. So it is relevant. Okay. What about the variable cost that I'm going to incur from this project? Relevant or irrelevant? Again, it is relevant. Why? Because this is an expense that I'm going to incur. So there is going to be a cash outflow. So this is a relevant cash flow. Now look at this. Factory fixed cost of 18,000 per year that will rise to 21,000 per year for the life of the project. Now, okay, you all are saying relevant. Now, which amount is relevant? They've told 18,000, 21,000, or what do you think is a relevant over here? Anusha is saying irrelevant. Which amount is relevant? Okay, futuristic. Yes, this is futuristic, but look at the which amount. All are saying 21,000. Okay. So now understand, guys. Fixed cost as such is irrelevant. Okay. But they are saying these are various items relating to the project. Now, if you look at the word here, factory fixed cost of 18,000 per year, now it is going to rise to how much? 21,000. Now, why did it rise to 21,000? Because you started this new project, correct? So, out of this, which is a relevant cash flow for me? Only that? How much? Think and tell me. Already 18,000 was there before this project. So, this 18,000 is irrelevant for me. Now, this 18,000 they are saying is becoming 21,000. So, for me, the relevant cash flow is how much, guys? Think it very good, Durai. It is your $3,000. Why? Because this is the extra incremental. When I'm using the word incremental, extra, that is a relevant cash flow for me. So I start this project or I don't start this project. This 18,000 would be there, irrespective whether you take up this project or you don't take up this project. But because they are saying this 18,000 ಈಗ 21,000 ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? Because you started this project. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ? ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋನ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ 3,000. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ $3,000 is my relevant cash flow. So remember, fixed cost as such is irrelevant. Only the incremental, if you see this word incremental fixed cost or that extra cost which you are incurring because you started, those basically your avoidable fixed cost. They are your relevant cash flows. Got it? Is this clear? Everyone? If you want me to repeat any of it, please ask. Is it clear? All of you? Okay. If you'll have any doubts, please don't hesitate. Ask. Okay. Last one. Apportioned head office cost of $2 per unit representing the project share of existing head office cost. So this is nothing relating to the project. This was already there. So, and it is already apportioned by head office. So this is something that is not under your control. So this is relevant or irrelevant? Irrelevant. Very good. Why? because it is already apportioned and it is done by the head office, nothing related to this project. So that is why it is not under your control. That's why it is irrelevant. See, head office costs are not changing in total. So there is no incremental element. So they are not relevant. Okay. It is already the same thing. It will not change. Only if there is a change or if there is anything extra or if it is differential, then it is a relevant cash flow. Everybody understood the difference between relevant and irrelevant now? Can I go ahead? Okay. So now, moving on. Any doubts? Any doubts? Do you guys have any doubts? Okay. Now, one more thing that we need to know is the timing of these cash flows. Okay, perfect. So the next, sure, I will send it. Don't worry. You will anyways receive the access. Yeah, sure. I will send it. Don't worry. Now, guys, moving on. Let's now understand the different timings of the cash flows, okay? When? Now, will you all agree that whenever I'm making a new project, there'll be 3 stages. What are those 3 stages? One is the beginning stage when I am making that investment, correct? You all can also unmute and talk. That is also fine. So, can I say there are 3 stages? What are they? One is your beginning stage, then the operation stage. That is, you start what? Using the project? Yes or no? My screen is not visible, I think. Wait. Can I say there are 3 periods during the project? One is the beginning of the project. Correct? Durai, that is why we make an investment. Why we will make an operation, why we make a capital expenditure. It could be because we want to run the business, that is operational purpose, or it could be because we want to expand our business, strategic purpose, or it might be required by the law. So what you are saying is why. Answering why. Now I'm talking about the 3 periods during the project. Now let's say we have decided to start a project. Now, can I say there'll be 3 time periods for it? Yes or no? One is the beginning of the project, then each year throughout the project, then end of the life. Yes or no? Now, for example, if it is 5 years project, can I say year 0 is the beginning? Correct? Then every year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 is what? The each year. This is the each year throughout the project. And then there is year 5, which is the ending. Correct? So can I say every project will have these 3 time periods? Agreed? Correct? Please respond, guys. You can unmute also and say, because otherwise it feels like I'm talking to myself. You can also unmute over there and do it. That is also fine. Okay. So now when I'm talking about beginning of the project, so what? Now everybody has understood that we have to take cash flows. And even in cash flows, you all have understood that we have to take only relevant cash flows. So now we need to understand when I'm talking about the beginning stage, okay, beginning of the project, what are my relevant cash flows? I will have to first identify. So can you all think and tell me what could be your relevant cash flows? ಏನಿರ್ಬೋದು? ಈಗ ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ದು ಹೊಸ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಹೊಸ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು ನಾವು ತಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು? ನೀವು ಗೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಏನ್ ತಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು? The capital, do I say? So can I say if I'm the initial investment, right? Maybe to purchase your fixed asset? Yes or no? One is your initial investment. We call it as initial investment. What is your initial investment? Your initial investment is the purchase price. Your purchase price of the fixed asset. ಈಗ ನಾನೊಂದು ಮಷಿನರಿ ತಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮಷೀನ್ ತಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಮಷೀನ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್. Yes or no? And beginning for us is nothing but year 0. Year 0 means beginning. So now in order to buy this machine, let's say there was some setup cost, or there'll be many cost, training fees, how to use the machinery. So there will be a training fees. Then maybe there is transportation cost, because from the showroom in the ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಈ ಮಷಿನ್ ತರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಫೀಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಫೀಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಮಷೀನ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಈಗ ಮೈ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಟು ಯು ಗೈಸ್ ಇಸ್, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಮಷೀನ್ ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ತಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಆ ಮಷೀನ್ ಅದ್ರಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ? ವಿಲ್ ದ ಮಷೀನ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್? ಈಗ ನಾವು ಮಷೀನ್ ನ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಗೆ ತಂದಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಆ ಮಷೀನ್ ಅದ್ರ ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದಾ? ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಕನ್ನಡ ಆತ? ಅದ್ರಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತದಾ?
No, ma'am.
What, Anusha? ಇಲ್ಲ. So we will have to do what? Why Anusha is coming towards the board? Alle you can unmute and talk. No, why to simply come so far? What? Okay. Training. What training? Okay, Anusha, go back. Mute and go back. What? ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾ? ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು? ಗಟ್ಟಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ, ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay, fine. So obviously the machine ಅದ್ರಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಎಂತ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ದ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ that is required for day-to-day operations of the business. ನೀವು ರಾ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ನ ಮಷಿನ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಲೇಬರರ್ಸ್ ನ ಇಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಮಷಿನ್ ಅದ್ರಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಅದೇನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮಷಿನ್ ನ ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ದಿವಸ ತಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವಲ್ಲ ಆ ದಿವಸದಿಂದಾನೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈ ರೆಲೆವೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋಸ್? 1 is the initial investment, 2 is the working capital. Got it? 3 ಇನ್ನೊಂದಿದೆ, ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಈಗ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಹಳೆ ಮಷೀನ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಆ ಹಳೆ ಮಷೀನ್ ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಹೊಸ ಮಷೀನ್ ತಕೊಂಡೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಹಳೆ ಮಷೀನ್ ಇಂದ ನಂಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ? ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ಈಗ ನಂದು ಹೊಸ ಮಷೀನ್ಗೆ 25 ಲಕ್ಷ ಹೇಳುವ, ನಂದು ಹಳೆ ಮಷೀನಿಗೆ ನಂಗೊಂದು 5 ಲಕ್ಷ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಕೆನ್ ಐ ಸೇ ನಂಗೆ ಆ ಹಳೆ ಮಷೀನಿದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ 5 ಲಕ್ಷ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಲಿವೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ನಂದು ಹೊಸ ಮಷೀನರಿಗೆ ಈಗ ನಾನು 25 ಲಕ್ಷ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ, 5 ಲಕ್ಷ ನಂಗೆ ಹಳೆ ಮಷೀನ್ ಇಂದ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಈಗ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡೋದು? 20 ಲಕ್ಷ. Please respond in the chat box if you all are following. So another relevant cash flow for me is the cash received from the disposal of the old machine. Cash received from disposal. Disposal ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂತ? ಬಿಸಾಡಿ, ಹಳೆ ಮಷೀನ್ ನ ಬಿಸಾಡಿದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸಹ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? Okay. Yes. So 3 things to be considered, guys. What are they? Initial investment, initial working capital, and the cash received from the disposal of our old or outdated asset. These are the 3 relevant cash flows. So let's just give it a read. Let's read this. I will share this PDF with you all. You all will be anyways getting the PDF once you are getting the LMS access, the Hawk access. But for now, I have shared it with you all in the chat box here. You all can download it. ಸಿಕ್ಕಿತಾ? ನಾನು ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಈ PDF ವಿಚ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್. ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಎಲ್ರು ರೆಡಿಯಾ? Are you guys ready to learn the beginning stage? Okay. So year 0 means what, guys? I told you all earlier also. When I use the word year 0, it means what? Today. Correct? Year 0 means today. So year 0 means today, means now. Now, this is the starting point of the project. What is this? This is the starting point of the project. Starting point of the project. So, before the project actually starts generating profits, at this stage, we calculate 3 things. What are those 3 things? Tell me. One is your initial investment. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಈ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂತ, ದ ಮನಿ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮನಿ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. Now, it could be buying the machine, correct? Buying a machine. Yes or no? But that machine idu transportation, installation, testing, adella you have to include. What should you include? Transportation cost. Then, if there is anything that is required to bring the machinery into your factory, adella ನೀವು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಮಷಿನರಿಗೆ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. It could be setup, training, all those things have to be taken into consideration. All right. So, that is what they are telling in this particular paragraph. Can you all see? Over here, look at this line. The initial investment. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್? Respond. The initial investment. The initial investment in. Sure. Just 1 second. I'll finish this topic and give. So the initial investment in fixed assets is the cash outflow necessary to get the project operating. So it could be your purchase, construction, transportation, shipping cost. Ella you have to add it. Okay. That is your initial investment. What is your second relevant cash flow, guys? It is your initial working capital. Working capital is nothing but current assets minus current liabilities. So, what are they saying in this paragraph? They are saying that your initial working capital investment, when a project starts, the company will need extra working capital, right? You have to buy raw materials. So there will be increase in inventory. Now customers are buying your product but will pay later. So there will be accounts receivables. So there will be accounts payables. So all these things will have to be taken into consideration. Increase in accounts receivables, increase in inventory, increase in current liabilities. So adella we will have to take into consideration where in our year 0 itself. Okay. In year 0 itself, we will have to factor that. Got it? Understood? Then, they're also saying the third most important cash flow is the cash received from which one? Disposal or old outdated asset. So when you dispose the asset, you'll get some money from it, right? So let me put it over here. What was the second, guys? What was the second important cash flow? Tell me. Tell me what was the second important cash flow to be taken in the beginning stage? Very good, Anusha. It's your working capital. And working capital is nothing but your current assets minus your current liabilities. So anything that you have incurred, you will have to take it into consideration. And third one is, what is your third one? Cash received from selling old assets. Whatever cash you received from selling your old asset, that also you have to check. And this is always net of tax. Now, what is net of tax? I will do it when we are doing it a particular problem. Now, if the old machine is sold and the company receives cash inflow, we must consider the tax effect on it, tax on gain or loss. If the selling price, now let's say the old machine, the value was just 10,000 rupees, but ನೀವು 12,000 rupees ಗೆ sell ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. So can I say there is 2,000 profit on sale? Now, ಆ 2,000 ಅಲ್ಲಿ you can't keep the entire 2,000. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 30% ನೀವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. If at all you have made profit. ಅದೇ ಈಗ 10,000 rupees ಮಷೀನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು 5,000ಗೆ ಮಾರಿದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಎಂತಾಯ್ತು? ಈಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 10,000 ಮಷಿನ್ ನ 5,000ಗೆ ಮಾರಿದ್ರಿ, ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ? 5,000 ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಲಾಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ 30% ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಈಗ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗುವಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ 30% ಸಿಗ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಮೈ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಸೇವಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೋ. ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ, ನೋ, that is a cash outflow. Understood? So this adjustment we will have to take into consideration in the initial stage. Got it? Shall we take a quick break, and after the break we will do a problem in identifying the cash hege. I want you guys to do that problem. All right, it's 4:15, 4:25, please be back. Let's get back. Are you all there? Come back. Switch on your videos. Are you guys there? Break is over. Come soon. Okay. So now moving on. Now we saw in the beginning stage, right? Guys, already it is just what, 2 hours class. In that also it started late. Then again break over. Then what is even left? We have so much to cover. And y'all are professional students now. This is not like your usual BCom class where you can take it easy. We need more consistency, more focus. Okay, I'm going to continue now. So where were we? We saw the beginning period. Is this clear? The beginning period, what are the cash flows? Next, we'll see each year throughout the project. Okay, so next we are talking about each year. Now you have started the project. Once you start the project, what will happen? You will start making sales, correct? You will start incurring expenses. Eager, you have purchased the machine, all that over in year 0. Now you're willing to, now your project has started, and because your project has started, you're incurring sales, you're incurring what is it? Expenses. Now, will you get to keep all of it or you have to pay tax? You will have to pay tax, agreed? Yes or no? Are you guys there? Respond. So, the next part what we're discussing is the subsequent part, that is the second part. Once you start the project, after the project starts, you will start generating inflows and outflows, correct? When I say each year, I'm talking about the after the project starts. See, this is the starting point. Okay, here I was talking about the starting point. Now I'm talking about after the project starts. Are you all understanding the words that I'm using? After the project starts, can I say every year the project will generate cash inflows? Every year you will get cash inflows and cash outflows. Correct? Yes. So now, what are your cash inflows and outflows? One is your sales, correct? And if you make any additional investments later, that also could be the things. So, first and the foremost thing is each year you will be getting one is your operating cash flows. All right, one is your operating cash flows, and you should always take your operating cash flows after tax. You should take operating cash flows after tax. And two is your depreciation tax shield, because depreciation is an irrelevant cash flow, but depreciation tax shield, yesterday I spoke about it, right? That is a what? Relevant cash flow. Now, what is your operating cash flow after tax? When I use the word, everyone understood these are the two relevant cash flows. When I'm using the word operating cash flow after tax means what? It simply means the money earned from operations after paying tax. Okay? Like for example, you will have your sales. Okay, let's say sales 100 rupees and your expenses 50 rupees. So what is your cash flow? What is your cash flow before tax? 50? Correct? Now let's say the tax rate is 30%. So 30% you have to pay tax. Can you keep this 50 rupees? No. Government will say 30% tax katti anta. So this 50 rupees ella nimge hidkolikagalla. Ee 50 rupees alli 30% you have to pay as tax. So how much will go? 15 rupees will go as tax. So what is your cash flow after tax? Cash flow after tax is how much, guys? Can I say 50 minus 30%? How much is it? Only how much? 35? Correct. So you will get to keep only 35. And this is your relevant cash flows. And this you're going to get every year, right? They will say every year I'm going to make sales of 100, expense of 50, and like this. So every year you're going to get this amount. So this is one relevant cash flow. This is one relevant cash flow. What is the second relevant cash flow that I told you all? One is your operating cash flow after tax, and one more is which one, guys?
Depreciation tax.
Very good. Depreciation tax shield. Right? We know that depreciation is an irrelevant cash flow. So depreciation is not a cash expense. It only reduces tax, right? And because it reduces tax, the company will save in cash. And this tax saving is called as what? Depreciation tax shield. You remember that yesterday's example that we took over here? Where is it? Yeah. Because we showed depreciation as an expense, what happened? We paid tax of only 120. Otherwise, you would have paid tax as 150. So can I say this $30 is a tax saving? Can I say this is a tax saving? And this tax saving is called as what, guys?
Depreciation tax.
Yes. Very good. It's called as your depreciation tax shield. Depreciation tax shield means because we show depreciation as an expense, our profit comes down. And because profit comes down, we are paying less tax. Less tax paid, which is your savings. Which is your savings. So your depreciation tax shield is a cash inflow, guys. It is a cash inflow. Got it? This is a cash inflow. Whereas over here, you're paying tax, right? So It is a cash outflow. So what are the two relevant cash flows that comes in the during stage? That is each year. One is your operating cash flow after tax and one more is your depreciation tax shield. Is this clear? Any doubts? Any doubts? Is this clear? Why are you all sleeping? Who is it? I mean, I can't see clearly. Wake up, Neha. And what's your name? I mean, next to, I think you're sitting in different uh, positions today. Yeah, Nisarga, clear? Yeah, guys, you have to put in the efforts. Okay. So now you have to see science students how much they put in effort. You all have seen, no? Your classmates only, some of them might have taken science when you were in PU. How much they prepare for what? You were a science student? So you know, right? How much physics, chemistry, everything you all have studied.
It's not good.
CET preparation, JEE, how much they study. So think of it. Think of this also as, a professional qualification requires that many number of efforts and hours. All right. Okay. Now coming back. So we saw in the beginning stage, there were three important cash flows. Then in the each year, these are the cash flows. That is one, once the project starts, you have to pay tax on whatever you get. And then one more important adjustment is your depreciation tax shield. Then what is the last step? It is your end of the life of the project. Now when the project life is only ending, now what should you take into consideration? Which we call it as cash flow at the disposal stage. Correct? Cash flow at the disposal stage. Now, before I go to disposal stage, even in your during stage, that is every year, you might make up another capital investment. So that is a cash outflow which you have to take into consideration. Or you might again put in some more working capital. But very rarely they ask this. So the most two important the adjustments, relevant cash flows are the operating cash flow and your depreciation tax shield. Now talking about the last stage, that is cash flow at which stage? Disposal or completion of the project. Now, what are the relevant cash flows, guys? There are two important cash flows to be taken into consideration. Let me go to the PPT. So now we are talking about which stage? Ending. Ending stage. That is when the life of the project comes to an end. That time, what are my relevant cash flows? When the project life is ending, can you all think? What could be the end of the project cash flows? One, you will sell the equipment, correct? Yes, you will sell the equipment, right? So whatever cash received from selling the equipment, cash received from selling the machine or whatever, cash received from this has to be net of tax. Okay, this is one cash flow to be kept in mind. And one more is, now will you require any working capital, guys? If at all the project only is ending, will you require any working capital now? No, right? So we call it as working capital recovery. What do you mean by working capital recovery? You no longer need the working capital. So it starts becoming an inflow. When in the beginning stage, it was what? An outflow? Here it was an outflow. Okay. Now, when the project life itself is ending, working capital is what? An inflow. Inflow means you're getting the cash. It is addition. Got it? So, what are the two important cash flows at the ending stage? Whatever cash you received from selling plus the working capital recovery. So, what do you mean by working capital recovery, guys? Can you all guess? What?
Current liability.
See, working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. Now that the life of the project itself is ending, will you require any working capital? No. So it's more like now you will start paying off all your liabilities. You will start selling off all your current assets. So that is why you will get cash inflow. That is why it's called as working capital recovery. Once the project ends, then you no longer require working capital. So it is a cash inflow. So look over here. We'll quickly give it a reading so that this concept is crystal clear. Let's revise, guys. Last 5 minutes, let's revise what we discussed in this particular, what we discussed today. So today's main topic was where we understood the 3 stages of what? Project. What are the 3 stages? You tell me. Yes. And in the beginning stage, what are your relevant cash flows? In the beginning stage, what are your relevant cash flows? Your initial investment. Then what else?
Working capital.
Working capital. Then
Cash.
very good. So in the initial stage, that is in year 0, in the beginning stage, your relevant cash flows are your initial investment. That could be in a fixed asset, and you have to take all purchase, construction, transportation, everything has to be added. Second most important adjustment in beginning stage is your working capital investment, right? Any changes in current asset or current liability, because we know working capital is equal to current assets minus current liability. So that, because cash will be required to purchase raw materials, all this we will have to take into consideration. Okay. And what is the third important cash flow? The cash received from the disposal of old asset. Old asset you sold and you got some money. So can I say your new machine ka cost will reduce because you got some money from the old asset? Correct. So that also you will have to take, but you have to take the tax effect into consideration, net of tax. Then comes our second stage. That is once the project starts, which we can call it as each year you're going to generate cash flows, or we can call it as subsequent cash flows. What are they? One is your after tax net operating cash flow, which I told you guys. One is your cash inflow. That is your increased sales is nothing but cash inflow. See, if all goes well, what will happen? Investment will start giving you money, right? So you will start incurring, you will start making sales. So that is a cash. What, guys? Inflow or outflow? What is it? Cash inflow or outflow? Increased sales is cash inflow or outflow?
Inflow.
Inflow. Very good. So what will happen? You will start getting cash inflow. So if all goes well, the investment will lead to what? Incremental increase in sales, right? And then as sales are ramping up the beginning of the project, it is possible that annual expected cash flows will be negative instead of positive. So there may be net operating cash flow from sales in the early years of the project. That is because you're simply starting the project, right? It is new. That's why. Then Decrease cash operating cost means what? Improved working and environmental efficiency may reduce cash disbursement for operating costs. This line means that because you started using a new project or a new machinery, your cost is reducing when compared to ಮುಂಚೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ they are saying decrease cash operating cost is a cash inflow. ಮುಂಚೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 50,000 ಖರ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಮಷಿನರಿ ಬರೀ 20,000 ಖರ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ that is why that is your decreased cash operating cost. Then what they're saying is your depreciation tax shield, which I told you all. You all know what is the meaning of depreciation tax shield. The easiest way to calculate it is calculate your depreciation, and to that depreciation you add your tax rate. For example, see this example which we did yesterday. If I want to know what is my depreciation tax shield, what was my depreciation amount, guys? How much was my depreciation amount?
100.
And what was the tax rate? What was the tax rate?
30%.
So can I simply do 100 into 30%? That is $30, which is your depreciation tax shield, which is nothing but the difference. Got it? Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is what they're saying. How will you calculate your depreciation tax shield? Take the full cost of the asset, multiply your depreciation rate into your tax rate. You will get your depreciation tax shield. Okay. And in the ending life of the stage, what is your relevant cash flow, guys? Whatever cash you receive from the disposal of the asset. Because you sold the asset, what will happen now? You will get a cash inflow, correct? But of course, you should take net of tax. You might have sold it at a profit or loss, right? So that has to be considered. Then the second thing is recovery of working capital. What do you mean by recovery of working capital? The initial incremental investment in working capital, that is in year 0, it was a cash outflow in year 0 in the beginning. Now the life only has come to an end. So what will happen? The inventory associated with the project, all of it will be sold. So you will get cash inflow. All accounts payables and accruals will have been paid. So there is an accounts cash outflow. So it is possible for an investment in working capital to be recovered either partially or fully before the end of the project. So whenever working capital has been invested in a project, it is recovered at the end of the project, and that is your cash inflow. Clear? Is this clear, everybody? Any doubts, please ask.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Is it, have you all understood what are the different cash flows that come in a period?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So let me just debrief a question. We'll be solving it tomorrow, but I want you all to just give me your 5 minutes where we will be. I want you all to calculate the after-tax cash flows. Can you all try this problem, everybody?
And I took
What? What happened? Can you all try this problem? I want you guys to calculate the after-tax cash flow.
60,000.
So, what is the situation here? Your annual cash inflow is how much? 40,000. Everyone, can you all see my screen?
Yes,
So, what is my after-tax cash flow, guys? 60,000.
60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 60,000. 18,000.
40,000 minus.
10,000.
Guys, how will you all do it?
Minus 10,000 minus 1%.
See, there are two ways to do it, okay? I'll tell you all both the methods. Pay attention. How much is your after tax cash flow? Tell it to me in the chat box. No.
18,000. 18,000.
18,000 is your net income. Okay. So guys, now you assume that this is a cash flow that you're going to get in the during stage every year. So what are the two things to be taken into consideration in the during stage? Every year stage. What were the two relevant cash flows for us? Tell me. What were the two relevant cash flows? Each year I'm going to get this cash flow. So what were the two relevant cash flows? Which one?
Operating cash flow.
After tax. Then one more.
Depreciation.
Depreciation or what?
Depreciation tax rate.
Very good. You should be very specific, guys. It is depreciation tax shield. So can you all calculate both and tell me what is the final answer? What is the after tax cash flow? How much will it be?
18,000. 18,000.
Did you all add the depreciation tax shield also?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
No.
So your
28,000.
So what will be your operating cash flow after tax? So you are getting $40,000. Will you get to keep this entire $40,000? No, you have to pay how much as tax? 40% as tax. So after paying 40% as tax, how much do you get? Only 24,000. So this calculation is done. What is the second calculation? Your depreciation tax shield. How will you calculate your depreciation tax shield? Your depreciation they've already given. Into the tax rate. How much? What is your depreciation tax shield?
13,000.
10,000 is your depreciation. Will you get this entire 10,000 as saving? No, only 40% of it. So how much is it?
4,000.
Only $4,000. So what is the total cash flow which is relevant for you? What is the correct answer?
28,000.
28,000. Understood, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the easiest method and I would recommend you all to follow this method because in exam we will not have that much time, right? So this is, we'll call it as method 1. This is quicker method because we have taken both the things into consideration. But logically, what is happening over here? Pay attention, everybody. This is your basics. Basics have to be very strong. So you have a cash inflow of 40,000, correct? Of this, everyone, are you all with me? Last 2 minutes, pay attention. So now I'm telling you all one more method, okay? Method 2. So what actually is happening over here is you have a annual cash inflow. That means you're getting 40,000 every year. But will you get to keep this $40,000? No, you will have to pay tax, right? But before that, there is depreciation. So depreciation, how much, guys? Is 10,000. Correct? So you all know that cash inflow minus depreciation, you get how much? 30,000. This is your after tax. This is your profit. Yes or no? Because we've studied, no? Yesterday. Everybody pay attention. Yesterday we've studied that after tax cash flow minus your non-cash expense will give you your after tax profit. So this is your minus depreciation is your profit. Now you have to pay tax. Tax is at what rate, guys? 30%. So after paying tax, how much will it? I mean, tax is at 40%. So pay 40% tax. How much will it be?
12,000.
Very good. 12,000 will be your tax. So what is your after tax profit? What is your after tax profit? Look at the words that I'm using. How much is it?
18,000.
18,000.
18,000.
But what did I tell you all, guys? That in investment, capital investment analysis, we should take profit or should we take cash flows?
Cash flow.
We should take cash flows. So, in order to convert my profit to cash flows, what should I do? Very good. I have to add the non-cash expense, which is nothing but depreciation. So, to my profit, if I add back the depreciation, that's when I will get my after tax cash flow. Correct? So, I am going to now add the depreciation, which is how much? $10,000.
10,000.
So what is your after tax cash flow?
28,000.
Yeah, it is your 28,000. Same answer. In method 2 also we got, but this is the logic behind it. But in exam we'll not have this much time, right? So I would recommend you all to do it this way. Understood? Any doubts? Give me a quick thumbs up. Is it clear? Okay, so that's about it, guys. So today we have studied about the different stages and how to calculate the after tax cash flow. Clear? Any doubts? Is the speed fine? Am I going too fast? Perfect, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys. So I will see you all tomorrow. Yeah? Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.